Have you ever felt like you've hit rock bottom? That feeling when the world seems to have shattered around you, and all you're left with are the broken pieces of what used to be your life? I know that feeling. I've lived in that space, where the silence is deafening, and the future feels like an impossible climb. Today, I want to share a story with you. It's not just my story. In many ways, it's our story. It's the story of how we can go from broken to truly unstoppable. It all started on what felt like a perfectly ordinary Tuesday. The sun was shining, coffee was brewing, and then the phone rang. In a single conversation, the world I had meticulously built, my career, my relationships, the very foundation of my identity crumbled. It wasn't a slow erosion, it was a demolition. I was left standing in the rubble, completely lost, feeling like a failure. For weeks, maybe even months, I was just broken. Getting out of bed felt like a monumental task. The reflection in the mirror was a stranger I didn't want to know. I was drowning in a sea of what-ifs and if-onlys. The nights were the hardest. That's when the voices of doubt and regret would scream the loudest. You're not good enough. You'll never recover from this. You deserve this. It was a relentless assault on my spirit. I believed those voices. I let them define me. I was convinced that my story ended there, in that heap of broken pieces. I thought that was my destiny, to be a cautionary tale, a ghost of a former self. But then, something shifted. It wasn't a lightning strike or a grand epiphany. It was a whisper. One morning, amidst the usual chaos in my mind, a tiny, quiet voice asked a simple question. What if? What if you just pick up one piece? Just one. Not the whole puzzle, not the entire mess. Just one single, manageable piece. It was such a small thought, almost comical in its simplicity, but it was the first glimmer of light in a long, dark tunnel. So, I did. I decided to pick up one piece. My one piece was making my bed. That's it. It sounds trivial, I know. But in that moment, making my bed was an act of defiance. It was me telling the universe, and more importantly, myself, I am still here. I can still create order from chaos, even if it's just this one small square. The next day, I made my bed and went for a 5-minute walk. The day after, I added a healthy breakfast, small, almost insignificant actions. But with each one, I was collecting another piece of myself. This is where the magic really began. I realized that unstoppable doesn't mean you never fall. It doesn't mean you're bulletproof or that you never feel pain. Being unstoppable means that when you fall, you know how to get back up. It means that when you break, you learn how to rebuild, not just back to what you were, but into something stronger, more resilient. The cracks, the scars, they aren't signs of weakness. They are the marks of survival. They are proof that you were tested and you endured. I started to see my breakdown not as an end, but as a breakthrough. It was a forced reset I never would have chosen, but desperately needed. It stripped away everything that wasn't truly me. It forced me to confront my deepest fears and to redefine what success and happiness meant. I had been chasing a version of life that society prescribed, not the one my soul craved. The brokenness was a painful but necessary gift. It gave me a clean slate. From that new foundation, I began to build. This time, I wasn't using someone else's blueprint. I was using my own. I picked up pieces of old passions I had, abandoned writing, painting, spending time in nature. I connected with people who saw me for who I was, not for what I did. I learned to be my own best friend, to speak to myself with the same kindness I would offer to someone I loved. Each day wasn't perfect. There were days I stumbled, days the old voices tried to creep back in. But now, I had a new voice, a stronger one, that would say, "It's okay, rest, and tomorrow we pick up another piece. This journey from broken to unstoppable is not about erasing the past. It's about integrating it. It's about looking at the mosaic of your life and seeing the beauty in the entire picture, the bright, shiny pieces and the jagged, broken ones. The cracks are where the light gets in. They are what give you depth, empathy, and a strength you never knew you possessed. Your pain becomes your power. Your story becomes your message. So, if you're sitting there right now, feeling broken, I want you to hear me. You are not at your end. You are at a new beginning. Look around you, at the pieces, and just pick one up. Maybe it's drinking a glass of water. Maybe it's stepping outside for a breath of fresh air. Maybe it's reaching out to one person. Whatever it is, no matter how small, do it. That is your first step toward becoming unstoppable. Your story isn't over. The most powerful chapters are yet to be written. You are the author, and you hold the pen. The world needs your story. It needs the story of how you faced the darkness and chose to find the light, because, in doing so, you give others permission to do the same. You are not broken beyond repair. You are being rebuilt into the most powerful version of yourself. You are, and always will be, unstoppable. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this message resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more stories of resilience and hope. Your journey matters, and we're all in this together. See you next time.